you know, it gives them a lot of armor.
I think after these ultras pop, I'm just going to go try to attack, move, and I think win.
I think that would be a pretty fair thing to try to do. Don't let those lings run way ahead. They'll be a lot more effective if the ultras initiate. If he has siege tanks, Neural Parasite will help with that. I would like to see you cast it this time.
Yeah. Okay, well, here we go.
Again, ultras got a lead. If that means putting them on a separate hotkey, then do it. Go, Neural Parasite.
Oh no.
Hey bro, he likes siege tanks. GG, bud. Good infestor control. Wow, he was starting to tech switch. And you're tech switching as well to muted, which I really like.
I feel like the only way I could lose this game is if he goes big air, so...
I mean, yeah, that's the right thought process. Alright, so you win. Good job.
Cool.
Let's talk about it. What worked for you?
You know, I just felt like I could attack more, and I probably could have attacked sooner. I was worried a little bit more about macro, but I felt like I could have attacked a lot sooner and been alright.
Okay. How do you feel about this kind of style?
It's cool. It's good. It's powerful. I don't get to... I mean, I feel like I'm going to win with ultras, you know, after he takes a third base more than I feel like I'm likely to win when he's on two bases, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like Mutiling Bling, I'm going to win when I stop him from getting a third base, but I don't necessarily have to do that with this kind of play.
Right. So let's talk about that thought process a little bit. I'm going to explain to you why it's so good. With Mutiling Bane, you can engage up to his tank line. We talked about that at the beginning of our session. When you reach the tank line, unless you just have overwhelming numbers, you got to back off. And
yeah.
We saw that demonstrated in the very first game you played today.
Yep.
The infestor dynamic, or the infestor changes that dynamic. When you choose to engage with infestors, the second you do that, you're saying, I plan on killing everything here. Do you get that feeling now when you play this style, now that you've kind of had some experience with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to commit to the attack, but once you commit, you move your lings and then make sure your infestors are doing the right thing.
Exactly. And so, rather than playing this game where we fear the Terran ball, the Terran has to show us much more respect because we deal with his Marines so handily. If he goes into this heavy mech stuff, we just borrow half of it and use it for our own personal gain. I mean, it gives us a lot of options. So, I do want to spend a little bit of time. We've got about 30 more minutes, so let's fire up one more game.
Sure, yeah.
And while this game is starting, I want to spend a little bit of time just talking about things that he can do that sort of throws a wrench in our plans. Medevacs are the big one. A Terran player who gets 10 or 12 medevacs is going to really negate the effectiveness of our infestors. Medevacs heal faster than fungal growth does damage, and it's kind of retarded. But that doesn't mean that fungal growth is no longer good to us. It just means that we have to, at that point, start adding in banelings. At the beginning of our session, you kind of said, oh, that doesn't make sense to me. Why aren't we making banes? Now you're kind of seeing it. We're using up all that gas on other important things. Upgrades, fast hive, ultras, infestor energy, all that stuff. And, of course, infestors. That's where our gas is going. But when the Terran player shuts down our ability to kill stuff with fungal, that kind of forces us to change the rules of engagement a little bit. Instead of killing things with infestors, we're just holding shit in place so that he can't kite us, so that our banelings can do the work. And that feels a little bit more like Mutalisk play.
Yep.
So that's something I want you to look out for. If you see a ton of medevacs, you probably want to mix in the banes. But also, you want to be looking for opportunities to kill those medevacs. You can fungal growth 12 medevacs with one cast. So,
right.
You know, and if you can kill those, you take away his ability to negate what you're doing, and then all of a sudden, it goes back to a more traditional infestor situation where it's just like, LOL, I kill what I want.
Do you use infested Terrans ever to pick off one units?
Oh yeah, sure. Ideally, you want to cast the infested Terrans first, and then fungal right as they spawn. But you can also go fungal, infested Terrans, fungal again. And really,
Okay.
you don't need more than 1 or 2 infested Terrans per medevac. If you catch like 10 medevacs with a fungal, though, you want to get 10 infested Terrans out. So that, well, that's still 1 per medevac, isn't it? LOL.
Yep.
You want to get those out because you want to deal with that shit. That's a big win for you if you can get all those drop ships. So.
Right.
I'm not playing. All right. So
Okie dokie.
that little aside, let's do this one more time. I want to see more of the same. Good macro. I want to see better macro this time. I want to see you being more expansive. I want to see you maxing faster on a fully upgraded army. And this is the big one. You're playing at a very high level right now. You're playing at a master level, in my opinion. You look like a Master League player. You need to be fucking acting like one. You need to have vision of everything. I want to see overlords in position to see drops. Alright? You took a lot of damage from a drop that last game that you should not have taken. If you had overlords properly positioned, it would not have caught you with your pants down. That means in all the airspace around your base, and basically, you should be able to blanket your half of the map with overlords. Like, nothing on your half of the map should go unseen. Well, really, that should be done by creep alone. But beyond that, you know, any spaces you can't occupy with creep needs to have an overlord in it. And then there needs to be an overlord over each of his expansions. There needs to be lings burrowed around the map. You know, little things that give you those big clues. Because
what, like, is there a time that you know? I mean, there's like a million things to do for a certain player. Is there a time where you're like, all right, now I'm going to take my overlords out? Like, do you just kind of just have to force yourself to do it?
It's something that I just kind of do in every opportunity that I have, because there is downtime. You know, okay, I just spent my larva. I've just spread creep. I just done my injections. Sweet, let's spread out these 3 overlords that have clustered up. You know, because your shit's going to cluster. And when it does, and when you notice a block of stuff, just send it somewhere. And it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Be careful not to send a bunch of overlords right through the middle, because if you lose 10 overlords at once, that's really that's a headache and a half.
Sure.
But you know, just as you find the time for it, I'm not saying spend all your energy spreading out overlords. Like In Control says something really funny, where he's like, you know, fuck. Oh yeah, like you'll never hear a pro player in an interview after a win being like, "Oh, the reason I won that game is because I spread my overlords perfectly." You know.
Right.
That's not why you win games, but it certainly can be why you lose games. You will absolutely hear players say, "Oh, you know what? I just caught that drop out of the corner of my eye with my overlord that was in the perfect spot, and that really turned it around for me." So.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, definitely knowing when the drops are coming, I can see how that's useful.
So that's what I want you to kind of focus on here. Don't do it at the expense of everything else, but spend some time saying, all right, I'm going to spread out a couple overlords now. You know. So, anyways, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. And another thing that people are talking about in stream chat, and that is absolutely worth mentioning, is just creep spread in general. You've felt it. This build gives you lots of extra minerals. Get some extra queens. Supercharge your creep spread. You need to have, you know, infestors are not as mobile as mutalisks. Okay, they're just not. So you know, how can you make them more mobile than they are? Well, creep. Creep makes them faster.
Got it.
So that is a very important dynamic that we're missing. Two racks is hard, man. You make 2 barracks, and then you 1A. That's all.
I mean, I kind of feel like that, you know, with some of the early Marine pushes with this build. You just fungal and A move. It's kind of funny.
It is pretty great how it
really
turns everything upside down. I am a fan.
Hey, where's my overload? There it is. So here, I think we're cross positions.
Yep.
16 pull. Sometimes you do 16 pull.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Got it.
And this is again kind of an early gas. Don't cancel it at this point. You go ahead and mine from it. But in general, I don't get my gas until around 21 to 25 supply when doing this build.
Yep, that was force of habit there.
Love the double queen.
You get gas between 21 and 25. You mine it immediately, and then the first thing you get is link speed.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
That's
okay.
accurate.
What am I doing? Link speed.
I would get a third queen. And I would go back to mining gas, and I would continue droning. You see.
Starport. Okie dokie.
So that is that could be a couple things.
Could be Banshees. I didn't see a tech lab on the factory. Did I see a tech lab? No, I didn't.
What'd you see on the barracks?
Got it. So I'm gonna get a lair then, I guess.
Yeah, I would totally get a lair. You've already got a third queen out. If you're feeling scared, you can make a fourth queen as well.
Oh, he's getting a why is he getting ghosts? Okay. I saw Ghost Academy.
Okay. So I think he's gonna do something certainly. Maybe he's getting ghosts to kind of blindly counter this infestor play we've been showing. That could very well be a possibility. We do not know.
I think that I'm going to go with Mutiling then, if I see the ghost one. He's invested in that, so...
Yeah, do it.
And it's cross positions.
That's fine. You're still going to need a lot more gas than you have to sustain mutas.
That is true. Okay.
And he's invested a lot in what?
Tech.
So he does not have a what?
Expansion.
Or a what?
He might have an expansion, actually. I should probably go check.
But he does not. He definitely does not have a what?
An army?
There you go. So you can make lots of...
drones.
There you go.
Drones.
You're so good at this game. All right.
Yeah.
So we got a fast layer for a very specific reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you saw the starport and you thought, what?
I thought that I would need to get detection for Banshees, perhaps.
Exactly. Is that still out of the equation?
I don't know.
Would detection be a bad idea is what I'm trying to ask you.
I suppose not. It is a lot of gas, but I guess might as well do it.
Yeah, your Spire is going to be building for quite a while. That's 100 gas. It's detection.